Well, we finally got the shop cleaned out and we're able to start our first build in here. It's getting ready to rain, so let's get this pile of junk drug in here. And by pile of junk, I mean several piles of junk, because we've already got the 6.0 in here. We're gonna get the front suspension drug in here, tore down, get the body in here, get it cleaned out, get the rear end in here and get it tore down. After all that, we're gonna start the mock up, see how much this thing's gonna fight us. So let's get some parts drug inside. Well, there it is. Got the 6.0. As of right now, that's the front suspension we're going to use. Square body, 3/4 ton, 2-wheel drive. And I guess I should back up. And if somebody didn't catch the last video, the plans for this car is to build a kind of a tribute car to a 1960s, 1970s era dirt track, circle track car. The twist to that is I plan to use this car to do trailer races. And if you haven't ever seen one of those, I'll try to remember to insert a little clip here. Used to run these years ago before my accident, and ran a lot of figure 8 races with them and oval track. For now, I'm just going to try to do some oval track racing. And if you don't know what my accident is, you guys can go back and watch our first video when we're done here. It gives a little bit better explanation about that. But short version is, I had an auto accident that left me with a brain injury and a spinal cord injury. So that put an end to my racing and any kind of motorsports that I ever wanted to do. It actually shut me down hard enough that I didn't work for 5 years. So anyway, this is going to be my return to racing, hopefully. I still don't know that mentally that I can do it, but won't know unless we try. So anyway, back to the car. I'm not even sure what year this Plymouth is yet. I haven't even tried to determine that yet. I bought this car out in Kansas at an estate auction. The gentleman had, I'm going to guess, 300 plus cars at that auction. This is probably the cheapest one that went there. We bought this car for $150. And while it's in pretty good shape, it does have some funky stuff going on with it. And when I say pretty good shape, I mean rust-wise for a car of this era. As you can see, somebody has wrapped a chain around this body to pick it up off the frame. And there was a home-built tractor. I can't remember for sure. I think it was some kind of homemade tractor for picking up hay bales or something like that. And it had what I believe was the grill off of this car and the drivetrain out of it that powered it. I'll see if I can find a clip out of that video, or maybe I have a picture. I'll try to insert that here. But anyway, when they took the front end of this car off, they just torched everything. So, make sure I get a shot of that there. Yeah, they just torched all the brackets. So, to put a doghouse back on this car would be a major task. And like I said, the roof is just hammered all the way around. Of what I can remember, the floors in this car are pretty dang good for what it is. But see this roof side here, it's the same thing where they cinched it with a chain. So what is good on this car, we are going to save as far as any stainless. There's a few pieces. The dash is still mostly complete in this, if I remember right. Yeah, any of that stuff, these quarter glass windows, I don't know if anybody repops those, I doubt it. But anything we can salvage from this car and get it back out in the market, we're definitely going to do that through our eBay store. So if you need Plymouth Coupe parts, watch our eBay store. I'll try to put a link to that in the description. I don't always remember to do that when I'm editing, but we are going to save as much as we can. Rear window. I will probably put windows back in this, but they're going to be removable Lexan of some sort. Because another aspect of this is I hope to keep this thing to where I can legally drive it on the road. That's the plan. So that's kind of the story on the body. I did take this to one swap meet to see if we could try to sell it, and I threw I don't remember what kind of price tag I had on it, but we did see if anybody was going to buy it. You know, I think I had like $600 on it. And if you wanted a coupe from this era, I don't know that you're going to find any of them for $600. This one was cheap, but we were in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. And when I say nowhere, the closest town with a restaurant was like 40 or 50 miles away. The closest hotel was like 70 miles from us. So we got it cheap because of where it was at and the type of situation. You know, when you have a market flooded with 300 vintage cars, it drives the value of the less desirable ones down quite a bit. So we ended up buying, I think 6, 7 cars, something like that at that auction. This was definitely the worst one that we bought, but go check that out, auction out, if you want to check that out. I'll try to put a link to that description as well. There's actually a couple videos we shot at that one, but I'll try to post the video of the one where we got everything bought. So that's the story on the body. The rear end here, that is the later style 14 bolt. I believe it's still a 14 bolt in these trucks. I am not educated on the later model stuff, and I think this is an 04. To me, an 04 is late model. Disc brakes, and I believe this has a limited slip in it. We're going to open it up and find out eventually. If it doesn't have a limited slip, I don't know that that's going to be the one I use. I don't want a locker. I don't want welded, because some of these tracks we're going to go to are pavement and it's oval, and a welded rear end on an oval track is not a good scenario in my opinion. So we are going to run the 8-lug suspension. Everybody's probably scratching their head trying to figure that out. Well, some of the trailer races we do, I've seen quite a few suspension components fail, whether it be, you know, maybe it's just because they wore out, but it's hard on stuff. And I want this car to be purpose built. That's going to be its main reason for existing, is doing them trailer races. And if I get hit in a wheel in a crossover, I want the most likelihood of survival, I guess. That's a horrible way to word that, I'm sure. But my goal with that 3/4 ton suspension is to use it for the durability. Same with the rear end, you know, the full float rear end and such. So that's the plans as of right now. Obviously, the car doesn't have a frame. We got it in here on a wood dolly. That was actually built for a Model A, but it worked freaking perfect. We're going to strip down all this front suspension and basically just use the cradle out of this. We're going to use that section here, and then we'll pull the gearbox off, use it. We'll probably use that factory sway bar in some configuration, but we've got 2x6 1/8-inch wall tubing that we're going to use for the frame rails. And even though I say it's 2x6, it won't be 2x6 on most of the frame when I'm done, because I will pinch it, I guess is the best word, and I'll go to the whiteboard, or the the dry erase board here in a minute, and I'll try to show you guys what I have in my mind there. But first I'm going to get this stripped down, and then we'll get it rolled underneath there, get everything kind of sitting where we want it, and then I'll try to explain my thoughts with that frame. And my thoughts that I have now might not even be remotely possible once we start laying things out and doing some mock-up. You know, you can't build a chassis before you do some mock-up. So in my head, I've already got it built, but yeah. Anyway, I'll quit rambling. Let's get turning some wrenches. We'll get this thing stripped apart, get the car cleaned out. I'll probably start with cleaning that car out. It's full of swap meet stuff. It's been since last September. I have no idea what's in this car, as bad as that is. So it's kind of a, what is that, an unboxing video is what they call it. So it's kind of going to be an unboxing video for myself, even though I'm the one that put it there. I don't remember. My memory's about 2 weeks long for those of you that don't know. So I have no idea what is in this. I know that back panel there is for an international truck cab, new old stock. I see some Model A grill shells in there, Model A window frame that we was looking for the other day. But we'll get this cleaned out, and then we'll start tearing into some of the nastier stuff. But I'm going to do this first because this shouldn't be nearly as nasty. Let's see what we can find in this hoopty. Oh. I was pulling like hell on that handle. Still doesn't want to work. Let me, gotta find a attitude adjuster. See if we can get this. This might be, let's see if we can do this one-handed, holding the camera. Oh, I know that door opens because we've had it open. Oh.
Trade me.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's possibility. But it looks like it's down right there. Getting it, JR? Roscoe's on the other side of the things. Is it sitting on the rocker, maybe? Or the rocker? I know we've had
behind the door.
It's jammed tight here, but I don't know. They are intrigued. What's in there, boys? Huh? Am I doing it wrong? Good God. Let me in. Ah! Has it been in that cow? No?
Just stiff.
Yeah. Just needed some motivation. See what we find. Look at everything. No, that wants to come out, so we're going to take that out. Yep. So if anybody needs a rear patch panel for their international truck, let me know. Well, actually, that bad boy will probably be on eBay tomorrow. Let's just take this over here by the door. I guess we'll start about now here, Rich. What do you think, Roscoe? Huh?
Oh, this $1 pedal car.
Hey, that's a weight reduction model.
All of the weight?
Yeah, all of the weight is gone.
Literally.
Let's take it, yeah, I don't know what to do with that one.
I mean, it's cool, but...
Yeah, let's see the other side that still exists. Which model is it? I don't know what that is. You're not letting me see the top of it. I think that's like a Ford Thunderbird or something. I believe. We'll go back over here to the driver's side and let Alicia dig stuff out. Looks like she's full of grill shells. How many grill shells we got? No wonder I couldn't find them the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's more in the trunk. Only 8 grill shells.
I don't think there's any back there.
Oh yeah?
There's a dash pad maybe?
Okay. Well. No grill shells. Go ahead and pull that stuff out. Looks like a bunch of Mustang stuff, buddy. Let's just go ahead and stack it over here, and
I like that stays open.
Yeah, it does. It still does. That's a Model A windshield frame. I'm not sure what model though.
Hi, buddy.
But
I think All of this was Mustang, and I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's Mustang and Mercury Cougar stuff there. 60s stuff, if I remember right. Yeah, all this stuff will be going on eBay tomorrow, I do believe.
Ate my sweatshirt.
What was it?
Your leaf spring just ate my sweatshirt.
Oh, what was you? Dang sure did.
No, just gotta do it my own. It's okay.
Yeah. I think that one's Plymouth. If anybody knows what that is for sure.
This says Ford Crestmark.
Crestmark?
Ford Crestmark?
Crestmark's not a thing that I know of. Is it like a...
See?
Oh,
See,
Is that Crestmark?
it's a seat that goes around the base of the seat on something, but... Yeah, what I was saying...
It says Ford Crestmark body
Crestmark body.
is what it says.
Okay, I have no idea what that fits either. I don't remember. Somebody knows what that one is. Let me know. 99% sure this is Plymouth, and I didn't remember to write it down when I got it. That's the bad part. People don't realize the little things, how big of a pain in the butt it is when you don't remember crap. What'd you find over there? Allowance for 64 through 6 Mustang looks like. Is there any nice ones in there, Alicia? That one's not horrible.
Not terrible.
I need a nice 3031 for the Roadster.
It's a little
That
weird
one's-
down here.
It's got weld marks on it and stuff. It's a good wall hanger. Yeah, just start a pile of them.
Back here still or bar?
Just start a pile of them back there, and we'll sort through them tomorrow.
I think me and Steven forgot to take that rope out.
What is it?
That rope.
Yeah, that's gross.
Ew.
How long you reckon that's been there? That's pretty. If you can't tell, that's actually a spool of what looks like old hip wrench. I don't know. But
Giant set of headers.
yeah, for small block.
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna need another pile.
Yeah, I don't know where to put those. Set them along the wall, I guess.
We also need a tail light, Dad.
Yeah. Actually, I've got tail lights for this car,
But
but
how's this one?
yeah. Check out how cool this is. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a ship. But they definitely don't have styling and stuff like they used to now. The tail lights on the side is just as cool. But I'll stick with my old stuff. Forget this new stuff design. I think what I'll do, I'm gonna shut you guys down for a second, get this dude cleaned out, and then we're gonna see, get this all cleaned out so we can get a better look at it. Maybe get this up on some jack stands where I can actually get some eyes underneath it and see how bad it's actually gonna be to build a frame for underneath this thing. So. Smells like Kansas. Nasty. Ow, what? Somebody was working on it. That's a bearing race, and that's a retainer plate for the bearing, I believe, on the rear end. Oh. There's the bearing.
There.
It doesn't appear that it does much
Burying.
burying.
Can I see it?
Oh,
It appears to be quite froze up.
in that situation, what is the story behind that? How did that get there? What went on? Why has that been hanging out since the 50s in the quarter panel on that car?
Right.
Like there's some kind of weird disc that was fastened into this inside of the rear quarterback. It's back there on the floor. But it makes me think of a clutch band without any center in it. It's what it looks like.
Okay.
But I have no idea what it is. But it was fastened to the inside of the quarter panel back there, you know.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Why was it there?
What?
How's that a bearing?
Well, this used to rotate on the inside of that. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that used to be a bearing. That might just be a seal. It's a hell of a seal if it's a seal.
Either way, it's not going to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's a bearing race. They're not a match to each other, I don't believe. This thing's so nasty. It's covered in mouse turds. It's not even funny. There's a yellow jacket. He's a little cold. Oh, yeah. He's not happy at all. I don't think it's a yellow jacket. That's awful big. Is that a yellow jacket?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's dead, whatever it was. Oh, he was thick. He didn't want to die. He could have died.
What was it?
Dead. This stuff's nasty.
It's just like
How does it
flaking off.
smell so bad through a respirator?
Well, I can't smell anything.
Your nose is broke because it stinks pretty bad, like Kansas. Ew.
So I thought there was a hole there. We'll try pushing it out. Dude, it's so sunbaked and nasty. Ugh.
It's crazy that it's still that solid. I mean, solid's
It's not that solid.
it's a strong word for it, but it's in one piece.
Is it?
Is that the paint like flaking off right there in the center?
Yeah, that's because it's been 9 million degrees out here in Kansas. But, out here in Kansas. I say that like we're in Kansas.
We're not in Kansas.
No. Out in Kansas, it was 9 million degrees in this car with all the windows up. Now, I bring back a Buick, a 56 Buick Roadmaster from out there one time that the sun visors had been left down on, and it got so hot in that car, they had started to burn. They were charred. So, the sun baking on your car out there ain't no joke. And how that car didn't burn down, I don't know, because it was plumb full of newspaper. Like, filled to the bottom of the windows with newspapers from the 70s. I think we'll hit this with the vacuum up here. It's all that good on this. Which, I've never paid attention to the interior of this car, but this never was meant to have a back seat, so pretty sure that means that this is a business coupe, which I don't know how rare those was in these Plymouths, but I had never even noticed that before when I bought it. But we'll vacuum this up, the dash, and then I'm going to get in the trunk and vacuum that out. Now this part here, it's got some funky patchwork there. We're going to make this all new, so that ain't no big deal. Obviously, you've got the Ford Elite option back here. I will probably just cut out the rot, do a small overlap, and patch it. But this side over here, I think most of this is from me out there in Kansas trying to get this thing loaded. We were not prepared to load stuff like this when we was out there, and I really tore up this front floor pan piece. But it is what it is. Each side, that's for me trying to pick up the car with the forks and having too short of forks. But This thing is absolutely disgustingly filthy, but it gives us everything we need. Obviously, I'm gonna go through these A-arms. We'll rebuild all this.
What's this?
That's where they've got it shimmed up to push that A-arm out to bring the top of the tire out. I may end up building tubular A-arms for this. I don't know. As a hot rod pet peeve of mine, I never run IFS on a fenderless car. It is hideous. I just cannot stand it. But to run a fenderless or a straight axle on something like this, I would bend a straight axle every time we raced it. So it's just not practical for the abuse I'm going to put this car through. But tubular A-arms are slightly better looking, and I can probably make them stronger than these factory stamped ones. So that might be what we end up with. I don't know yet. For right now, for the first go around, what I'll probably do is just rebuild these, all new ball joints, new bushings, and go from there. And if it becomes a constant problem of bending them or something like that, then I'll address the issue. I know these can take quite a bit of abuse. I used to derby trucks, and I don't know that I ever busted a ball joint running a square body 2-wheel drive 3/4 ton. I don't even know that I ever even lost a tie rod end in those trucks, honestly. But yeah, that's the plan for the front end. It's gritty and nasty, but we'll get her cleaned up. And the plan right now, I just got violated by a exhaust pipe. The plan as of right now is I'm hoping that the track width on this thing is not too wide for this car body. If it is, I'm literally just going to cut right down the middle of this and the middle of the steering link, or I'll probably build a new, I can't think what it's called, drag link, I think. But just literally cut that in the middle and narrow it as far as I need to go. And but I'm really hoping I don't have to do that, because if I'm narrowing the front, that means I'm gonna have to narrow that rear end too, which isn't a huge ordeal. It's just a matter of cutting the tubes down or pulling the tubes and shorten them up. Just a lot more time and energy than I want to put into this build. But the goal with this is to keep it absolutely as cheap as possible, and I'm going to keep a tally. I'm going to go in there on the whiteboard in the break room and keep a running tally of what we've invested in this and what we've sold off of it. And the goal with this project is to have $0 in it. I always talk about people can do stuff on a budget if they want to, and if you're willing to put in the work. Yes, I'll have a lot of hours in it. I'm okay with that. But out of pocket dollar wise, the goal is to be either ahead or at zero with this car. So that's the goal as of right now. Right now we're in really good standing to do that too. $150 for the car. I bought this truck at one of our first auctions. That was the Dunkirk Estate auction, where I bought, I think it was, what did we end up getting out of that woods, like 21 cars or something?
Yeah.
We bought where the 59 Impala convertible ended up being. So I have nothing in this front axle. The car was $150. I guarantee you I can get these parts sold off this for a lot more, all this stainless and stuff, for a lot more than 150 bucks. The rear end came out of the same truck as the 60 LS. That truck, I'll have to look at my receipts. I bought that at a closed bid or silent bid. I'm not sure what you call that. You had to mail in a bid for an auction here where we live, and I bought that off the town. I can't remember what I gave for that truck. I want to say it's somewhere around $1,000 for a 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive with a utility bed. We've already junked the utility bed and the back half of that truck, and I think that brung $300, but we threw some other stuff in it, so I'll mark it at like $200 or something on that. And then we have a ton of parts to sell off of that yet. I still have the front half of the frame, the cab, the doghouse, all that stuff to be sold. The transmission out of that truck, depends on who you ask as to whether the transmission was any good in that truck or not. It looks to be a reman. We'll go over here and take a look at that real quick. This thing is clean and it is painted like, it looks blue to me, but
Yeah.
I've been told by numerous people I'm colorblind, so blue or gray, whatever it is, that's not factory. So it's been remanded at some point. I haven't looked for a tag on it, but so anyway, there's a good chunk of our money. Even if I sell that as a core to somebody, there's a good chunk of return on investment on that truck. Plus we sold the catalytic converters off of it. I think the catalytic converters, I'll have to look at that as well, but I think that was around 150, 200 bucks. That was after converters dropped out. So so far we're in pretty good standing to be at a good low budget, if not a positive, for this car. But front end's ready for mock-up as far as getting it rolled into place. Definitely got to find the style of wheels and tires I'm looking for. I'm looking for, I believe that's considered a 3rd gen Dodge, the steel tires that they used as a spare. I'll post up a picture of those here if I can find it. I want to run a set of those. I think they're 8 inches wide, and I'm going to run a pretty big tire on this car just to fit the look that I'm going for. So, but we're going to knock out this rear end real quick. It shouldn't be too hard. All we're going to do with that right now is get the leaf springs off of it and the shocks off of it, cut some of that vent tube crap and all that stuff off. That's all I'm worried about, getting that off of that right now. So Austin and I will knock that out real quick, and then we'll start trying to get some things where they need to be laying. Austin and Alicia helped me get it as close as we're going to get it for tonight. I need to get some measurements off of a factory square body. Brain left me there for a minute. Some measurements off a factory square body to see what kind of angle that cradle sits at. I didn't think to measure anything like that before I cut these trucks up. So I need to find that angle. I've got some old books that I have to find that have the wheelbase to these old Mopars in them. I'm hoping it's got this generation of Coupe in it, because I'm going to try to put the wheelbase really close to what it is, just what it was from the factory, so that the proportions are right. But for right now, it looks like the track width is going to be about perfect. That is the 2004 Chevy truck rear end, and I'll come up here to the front and get you a shot. That has got to be, that's got to be really close to what this thing would have been from the factory. So that's a huge win in my book, because I don't have to mess with Maryland. My brain's tired. I don't have to mess with narrowing anything. Let's say we're going to do some research, find the wheelbase. We're going to get I don't have an engine hoist in here yet. It's still out in the other shop, other barn, and it's buried, so not going to mess with that tonight. But I do want to get that tranny, or that motor and tranny, set up in here whenever I figure out what I'm going to do. But I'm going to take you guys into our break room real quick on the whiteboard and show you kind of what I'm thinking on the frame right now, my preliminary thoughts, and yeah, so far I'm freaking stoked with today's progress. We didn't put in, I don't even know what time it is. It is it's 10:30 at night, so we put in, I don't know, we probably did put in 8 hours, but that includes bringing everything in, cleaning it out, stripping the front end down. So right now I'm stoked with the progress we're at. I want to keep going, but my brain's telling me no, to quit. But I'll take you in the whiteboard here. I know I'm not going to be able to explain this short of drawing it and it make any sense. So this is kind of what I'm thinking on the frame rails. Now this car's not got much of a kick up in the rear floor, so the center section of the frame, think of that, this is all 2x6 tubing, 1/8 inch wall, or 125 if you want to go that route. So the center section is going to be like that. That rear kick up for the rear suspension, I haven't made up my mind whether I will put a section in there at an angle and then run it on back with another section, or if I'm just going to go like that with some fish plates. I don't know yet. Not sure how that one's going to go. But the front frame will, I'll start with a piece of tubing. Boy, that marker's about dead. We'll start like that as far as a piece of tube. But what I'm probably going to do is make a jig on my plasma table where I can throw those in there, and I will cut the same radius like this on each of those, and then I will cut an opposing piece that comes down in here. So effectively the side profile of the frame, well, let me back up further. I'll do the same thing on the front here. This frame will come down and swoop up like that. So the side profile of that frame, this will be underneath the cabin of the car, and then it'll have another piece overlaid it that comes up, has a slight sloop in it, comes up, it'll have a flat spot area, and you know these are to scale and perfect. Have a flat spot area for our cradle to sit, and then it'll come down and make a nice flowing line like that. I know that doesn't look very good, but something along those lines. This section here will maintain the top of that tubing. This, obviously, and that I'll cap back in. But in my opinion, it's easier to start, means I have the plasma table. It's easier to start with a piece of tube like that and maintain the thickness of the tube versus cutting all these in pieces on the table and welding all that up. So, you know, this section and this section will maintain the 2-inch portion, the top and the bottom of the factory rail. And then I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do it, but these will be overlapped in some fashion like that with the profiles cut in them, and then a fish plate laid over top of that. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I promise it'll look good. And then like I said, I don't know how I'm going to do that rear kick up, if I'm going to have room to lay those on top of each other. I doubt it. I will probably end up cutting a notch in that so that the center section's here and then the rear section is laid like that. And then the rear suspension, we're going to go to truck arm suspension like it was in a 60, what was that? 60 to 72 Chevy trucks, I think, had the truck arm suspension if they weren't leaf spring. That's what we plan on running in the rear. Then obviously you know what we're running in the front. I don't know. I don't know that we're going to do. Well, ain't nothing working well tonight. I don't know that we'll do coil springs, coilovers. I haven't made up my mind in the back there yet, but it's going to be a trial and error. See what works, see what looks good, all that type of stuff. And as far as the budget, do you remember, Alicia, what I gave for that truck? I think it was $1,100.
I was thinking 12, so probably.
Okay, we're going to start it at $1,100. That was our first investment.
That's the donor truck. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. The 04 Chevy. Alicia's right here if you can't tell. We gave $150 for the body in Kansas.
The square body.
The square body we have nothing in because we bought all that stuff so cheap. So the front suspension is free. I don't have anything in that. In fact, I got paid to take it. So right now I've spent $1,250. We sold the cats off that truck. It was $150 or $200. I can't remember. We'll just go with $150. So we sold the cats off of it for $150. We junked the back half of it 2 days ago, I think. I think that was $200. And I'm going to get these exact numbers for the next one. So minus $350. What else have we sold off that truck? I think that's it as of now.
Actually sold.
Yeah, what have we gotten a return on?
Just the scrap bed and the cat, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's all we've sold off that truck. No, I sold the grill out of it for $20.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awful.
Ooh, can't even make a G. So $370 back out of that. So what was that? 11. Man, I'm tired. 11 minus 3. Yeah. 8. Good Lord.
Oh, I was wrong.
So right now we're $880 in that. I know we're going to get better because we're still going to sell the trim off of it. Austin was able to pull one of the rear quarter windows out of it. All the garnish moldings, all that stuff. So right now,
You also purchased the frame material.
yes, good point. Alicia, I don't know if you guys could hear that. Alicia said we purchased the frame. That was $360. So 6, 12, 14, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's where we're at. Oops, I put that in the wrong spot. $1,240 is where we're at so far. And like I said earlier, my goal with this thing is to get paid to build it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. But that's our goal. Pretty confident I can do it because, quite frankly, I'm a cheap ass. So yeah. Stay tuned. Make sure you guys follow along, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that little bell. That way you guys can stay up to date on this project. We're going to hopefully have a frame underneath it by this next video. And I'm pretty fired up. So depending on how it goes, we might end up, another video before Sunday. Hopefully. That's the plan. So anyway, thanks for sticking around, guys. See you on the next one. Why don't you switch hands, stupid bird?
That would make too much sense. It's nice to need your support, JR.
Put that on your socket.
Those are really cool.
Well, it's recorded.
Oh. Blooper! Like urgent, like it's gonna rain.